Run shall begin in 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay.
Stanley picked up the
Already fumbled it.
Stanley
But let's
punched
go.
the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So it's false hope, which means I have to turn off the machine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
What's the bucket guiding him?
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay. Let's go.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley.
Everything will be fine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both
Nice.
wondered to themselves.
Very cool.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
I can't do that skip yet. I don't know how to do it without jumps.
That everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility?
There's no collision on this. What? Really?
Had the bucket
Interesting.
been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No!
No!
To the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
For the bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working.
False
all of
hope.
it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest.
Let's go, Stanley and the bucket. We did it. We did it. We defeated the evil mind control system. Let's go. Victory. We did it. We've actually done it.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Oh, what is this?
Wait, what was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley
No.
Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
Oh, with
Not
the
while this
bucket,
building
you
has
can't
only the same
leave. Yeah, you can't.
Stanley realized he would
You're not
never
allowed to
be
leave with the
able
bucket.
to room. But at least he has the bucket.
At least he has the bucket.
Family
That's
inductance
true.
isn't really
That's
so
important.
bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
I was bird watching. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Stanley lifted the bucket.
Let's go bird watching now. Is he turn it back on?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here.
Still no one was here.
Warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Was the bucket guiding him?
Logical explanation.
I didn't click. Nice, thanks game. Appreciate it.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Mind control facility.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being
I can't do that.
monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do
Ribsticks. Oh my god, the emote
Red
worked.
Stakes is now following.
Thank you for the follow, Ribsticks. Welcome to the stream. So nice, my emotes actually work for that explosion. Don't know why they worked, but yeah, I have emotes that I don't like yet. And I don't have the bot to put it in because the bot's annoying. I learned something, right? Apparently, you need to gift the bot a sub so they can use your commands, your emojis, your emotes. And I couldn't believe that that was a thing until I found out. And the more I think about it, it makes so much sense. I thought the bot had like permission to just do whatever, you know. But apparently not.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Silly birds. The silly birds. The silly birds. There we go. Where's the point? Ah, here you are. Look at that. Silly birds.
This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place. flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley. Oh. Tucks are not well. Wait, 7, 6, 5. Hey.
The confusion and the chaos.
The museum this time.
To melt away, Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Dogs are not
office.
good. Yeah, I guess they're not, but it's silly. They are also silly, so it counts. They fall under the silly category, so it's okay.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, Bucket Museum. Emotes, you say? Uh-oh. I do say emotes. I have only 2, and one of them I don't really like.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
The other
to
one,
the large door.
my favorite emote I've ever made. Favorite drawing I've ever made. It's really stupid, and I love it. Let me just, I can show the emotes now. Where's the Twitch chat? God damn it, mobile app. Oh, god damn it. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. So that's my favorite emote. It's so stupid. It's just a bucket hat. But I love it so much. And then the other emote, which is RNG, I think it's also there. I don't like it as much because it doesn't look as good on the Twitch chat. Yeah. Oh, don't like the white. The white kind of ruins it for me. But I don't know how to. I need to change the font to make it like more readable. Okay, I think I tried to recreate the font. Yes, here's the second person who subbed to me. I tried to recreate the logo of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe and like change it to It's Bad RNG. And on its own, it looks good. Like, it was a good recreation. It's just the white outline makes it look terrible in the emote size. So I need to like look into it and figure out how to make it less shit. I might change the font entirely, but keep it like the same style. I may find like a thicker font for it to look nicer. Because right now it looks kind of shit. It's hard to read the top line. I might just leave the RNG part and just use that instead. But yeah, I don't know.
As it was crushed violently to death.
What I could do is, instead of having it just be an outline, I could just have it that it's on a white background, like It's Bad, the black text is on a full white box, on top of a white box. Maybe that makes it look better. I need to test it out though. It's a massive work in progress, that emote, and I don't like it right now. Do I remember where to go in this run?
Can you see how arrogant it was for
yes I
Stanley
can.
to take
Okay.
a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinds
Yes, there you go. Very
Can
cool.
you see that the bucket is no man can own a bucket?
No man
Certainly
can
not
own a
as valuable
bucket.
to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
There you go.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together.
We can let Stanley die together.
As leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Oh, he's dead. Stanley died. 8. Okay. 7. 6. 5. Nice. Lonely, got it. Okay, this one now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Into the door on his left.
Still no one was here.
Still no one was here.
Warmth and comfort now more than ever.
So lonely is the same thing as I go up and down the stairs here. I remember now. This is good practice for all endings, honestly.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of anything
Nice.
in life.
Very calm.
Stanley guessed the correct code by
By sheer luck.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
This whole time.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Wait! Sends it to the bucket.
Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3.
About the number
I
3?
tried pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
The bucket said nothing. So I need to go back, press the number
Here we are,
3.
said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
There you go.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not
Perhaps
seen how
the
much
bucket
joy
had
Stanley
missed
got from
something.
slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Now we go back up again, the second time. There we go.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see.
Feel the happiness I feel.
He smiled at the bucket.
The bucket said nothing. The bucket said nothing, chat. Can't believe that it said nothing. The flipping bucket said nothing.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3.
He told stories through the number 3.
And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all.
Just silence.
Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
There you go.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through.
God damn it, Stanley.
To communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution.
Stanley. This is the last time. Ahaha!
I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him.
What the number 3 meant to him. Oh man, this gag is so funny. I love it.
It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything. This was it. One last chance to win.
One last chance to win the bucket over.
Connection with a loved one.
Oh.
There was no one here.
There's no one here.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
No, not
There
Stanley.
would be no connection, no deep.
The hyper music doesn't really help.
The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And
So sad.
having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
All of it, Stanley picked up the bucket.
Let's go. Sacrifice.
Never be alert, Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So we're gonna do the ship.
Stepping in,
There we go. Lovely. This is a new content door or normal door? Normal door, okay. Here we go. That door should be open. Lovely. Epic. Oh, nope, that's a pillar. I should not be walking into that. There we go. And here's time for sad cinematic. Goodbye, bucket. There goes the bucket. I can't believe this. pain. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I guess this is forced. Is this forced or I have to do an ending? No, okay. That's insane.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and
Enter the door on his left.
still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it.
I can't skip this.
Facing his boss, admitting
I'm not
he
allowed to skip
was
this
close
section.
during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive
Needs it. I mean, I can just disable that. Yeah.
economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then
Something occurred to Stanley.
maybe, he thought to himself,
Maybe I am crazy.
he looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy?
Am I crazy? asked the
The
bucket.
bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would
Where'd
come
the
from
bucket
this.
go?
Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Ooh.
Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his.
There's a
None
lot
them
of
were his special
buckets. Oh my god.
Stanley, find me.
Delicious rib
He had to return to
steaks.
his old friend. It was the only way to
God
truly restore
damn
his
it.
sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
There we go. This is a story about a woman named Mariella.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security.
Picked up her bucket of comfort and security. I love how that's an official
Her walk
thing
was
in
interrupted
this
by the voice of
ending.
a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize
Shake my head, Stanley. You should have brought a bucket with you.
how cruel the world.
Put the bucket on your head like the emote Ripsticks has. God damn it, Stanley. Silly Stanley.
There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything.
Absolute guidance and total clarity.
Life kicks ass, and she backflipped all the way to work.
Eight. 7. 6. Bucket is a bucket. 5. 4. 3, 2. Unfortunate, didn't get a short. Ah well.
A soft wind blew outside,
And perhaps rain started.
And if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stan, where are we going today?
Ah man.
Stanley.
We're in the second half of the run.
Anywhere they went together would be Stanley.
Let's see how this goes.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
Telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
The bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
To the opposite door.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
We care about you, Stanley.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make
The
the
Adventure Line.
somewhere new. Yes, that whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm
Not the
very proud.
bucket.
It's a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Not the Bucket Destroyer.
The rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also
Insert bucket to destroy, it says on the top there.
With so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
I cannot guess.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket.
I gotta wait until this is done.
It knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10.
Oh my god.
What other object in this game can you even
Thank you
say
for
that
the
about?
for 11 years.
I wonder what sort
Hope
of
you
Bucket
enjoyed the
Destroyer
emotes.
the fans will be
Thank
clamoring
you,
for
that's so
after
kind
this.
of you.
Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting
Did not have to do that.
Hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable.
Because all buckets should be destroyed.
The Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give
The
us-
fans, do it for the fans. Up is dead. Stanley is dead. Stanley has died. Because all buckets need to be destroyed. God damn it. I hate that. Oh my god, I hate that.
We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you, all of its squadron.
How far behind am I to current world record? Oh, substantially behind, yes.
For the moment in time that you were here.
And I think I know where I lost the time, but it's okay. We move. Just to get a time on the board, all that matters. Eight, 7, Yes.
Or a good bucket.
Powerful. I just have to jump off the edge.
Humble bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his. This was
That
not
is the
correct.
end level rule, so I need to wait until dialogue is done before I can continue.
That the employee lounge
Let's
was
go.
simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No. Never
No,
mind.
the bucket was wrong.
Wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere
Hiya.
else. The cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms.
How deep are you clutching? 8, 7. Wow.
All of the embrace of an old friend. A wet Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket
Calling to him.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his.
So there's still another
back to the meeting.
12-ish minutes of this run. No,
No,
22 minutes of this run left.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
The cargo lift. There we go.
Okay, this is day number 295. Take number. I don't even know.
He doesn't even know. He's lost track.
Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it.
No explanation for it.
Haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so. What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that?
All buckets matter. Reserve the rights of all buckets. God damn it. Oh, he's dead. He's died. I have a healthier attitude towards buckets. Oh my god. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh well, didn't get your hallway. Unfortunate.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man
And a better co-worker.
In time, perhaps, he would become both of those. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place.
So Love Bond and Atomic Comedy are the two longer splits of this category.
The bucket was
So we're very close to the end now. This is not going to be a world record because I think I know where I lost time.
Said the bucket.
But yeah,
Don't go to the meeting
it's
room.
calm. Who
Go
cares?
somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Okay.
There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. You're on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says,
No buckets beyond this point.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Is this a bucket?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is
And
or
isn't
not
a bucket.
Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct.
This is 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct.
This is a bucket.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct.
This is a tractor and not a bucket.
To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket? Correct.
This is a bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Am I a bucket?
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley.
You're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Oh, this is wonderful news.
Oh, this is wonderful news.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
8, 7, 6. Yay.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very... Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
employee lounge was simply the place to be.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
The bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But
Because
Stanley
buckets
chose
can't
not to
talk.
think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Nice, let's go.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the...
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time,
Let us simplify the settings because that
I
makes
gave
this
Stanley
area faster.
because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway.
Stanley, can you hear
Hear
me?
me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it
It's
was
just a
ever truly
bucket,
able to do
Stanley.
is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
I've done that every single time. I keep forgetting that the bucket's to the left in the small kitchen area. I keep forgetting
He
that.
took orders from me. He trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, his stupid hunk of metal. It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of
Shiny bucket.
Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
Average hardware store bucket.
Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Ooh la la, we're going to the bedroom now. Wow.
Bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Oh. Go back to work, Stanley. Eight. Okay, let's check back. Okay, it's actually 7, 6, 5. Yay! It's time for the last split of the run. Don't know where this will make us end up, but I'll quickly have a check. And then after that, I'll go back to any percent, because I do think a world record is possible.
Employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No,
Never mind.
never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't
Because
talk.
buckets can't
But Stanley
talk.
chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed
Actually, I don't need the controls actually anymore.
blindly.
Don't need it.
Now pick up the...
Whoa! Hold on.
Why did you unplug the phone?
Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders?
Petigan
Stanley was
Muwin is now
joking.
following.
Obviously,
Thank
the
you for the
bucket
follow,
didn't talk.
Penguin. Welcome to the stream. How are you
Buckets
today?
can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking
A talking bucket, Stanley.
You see, oh goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke?
I up the
Should
music,
I
I think, a bit
paused
more
for
again.
longer, or spoken quicker? Comedic
Huh?
timing is so difficult.
Excuse
I
me?
wish I was
I am not Jag.
Exactly an instructional
I am
video.
flattered.
Oh my
You think
God,
I'm
why have
jagged.
you watched a foot- Oh wait, yes there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
That's why. I had a feeling.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic?
Welcome, Raiders.
How
What's
does it
up?
work?
I
How
hope,
long should
I hope
it
you had a
last?
good stream,
How
Jag.
can it be
Thank you for the
used to
follow.
effectively silence your political
Jak garis bawah
enemies?
garis bawah
And
garis
more
bawah garis
importantly,
bawah is now
can it be
following.
taught in its
Thank you,
entirety?
Jag underscore 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 for
Thankfully, the
following.
answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper.
How would this run? How would I say this run is? This run is
Standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them,
probably gonna be second or third place right now. I am doing 12 endings in the Stanley Parable. Actually, it might be worse than that. Who cares? I am doing the 12 endings category in Stanley Parable. And this is the final split. And I think, if I remember this ending properly, this could be third or fourth place right now as a first attempt. So let's hope that we keep it at that.
Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half. Pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary.
This is the
When the
joke
is
about
concluded, it is customary to inform your
comedic
listener
timing.
that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest
Thank you for the raid, Jag. Have a nice evening or afternoon. I think afternoon, right? Yeah. Have a nice afternoon. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long.
10 pages long survey. Oh my god.
Times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter.
Clap, 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 clap.
In no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles, all of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign
supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So, with that in mind,
The door opens this way, right?
the only way forward
I don't
is
know.
for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay, I was right. God damn it.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery.
Really going to nail the delivery.
You'll say how ridiculous, how absurd, what a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's
The
what
king
you'll
of
be
comedy.
as we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now? Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink.
Let's see where this ends. I'm just so curious for this one. It'd probably be fourth, if I'm honest. It could be third. Third might be a stretch. Third's a 56, 33.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed. Every one of our
I'm gonna be shamed.
All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Oh,
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already.
this could be close actually. This could be close.
Several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A
Ooh.
dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in.
Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna end up this run.
But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title.
Yeah, this is gonna be fourth.
I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Stanley, you were not the...
Yes, this will be fourth. This will be fourth place, I think. Which is again not bad as a first attempt. Fourth place.
Let me try that again.
I am gonna be about 40 seconds off world record, and that's also mainly because the first split, it was the first time I went down the elevator with the bucket, so that's why I got extended dialogue. But yeah, that's another thing I'm learning now, to like this requires a lot of setup so I don't get like the first time dialogue. But it's fine, we're good, we calm.
Which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy.
Yep, this is an easy fourth place. And that's fourth place. And of course I get a short hallway immediately after.